Hey guys, how's it going? Amanda here, Confessions of a Serial Hairstylist. I'm coming on here today to talk about the different growth cycles of hair and the 9 types of hair loss that you could be suffering from. So, 3 types of growth cycles: anagen, catagen, telogen. The anagen phase, this is happening every 2 to 6 years. Your cells are developing rapidly in the hair root, they're splitting. It's not like split ends, but the cells are splitting in order to cause more hair to grow out of each follicle, and it's pushing out the dead hair. So, this phase allows your hair to grow just a little less than an inch, a half inch, little less than a half inch every month. The next phase is the catagen phase. This is the transitional phase. This is where 3% of your hair at any time is in this phase. Growth stops and the follicle begins to kind of push out the old hair, and then the hair falls out. That's just the natural shedding of your hair. It's going to happen whether there's anything happening or not. The next one is telogen. That's the resting stage. 6 to 8% of your hair is always in this stage, and it can last for 100 days. So that means that and that's for your scalp hair, your actual eyebrows and eyelashes and arm and leg hair. That phase is even longer than 100 days. So you'll hear stylists say, yeah, your hair changes every 90 days. That is true, but you don't know for sure when it's happening. So this particular hair, when you see it, it will have like a bulb or a white end to it. That means that it grew to its full life and it became a club hair, and then it shed it out. All right, so those are the 3 growths of hair. So it's not like your hair is growing every 3 months and then falling out every 3 months. It's completely different. So the next thing I wanted to share was the 9. I wrote some notes because I would never be able to remember this, every single thing I want to say, and organized all on my own. So the 9 types of hair loss, this is important because everybody just thinks, oh, this, oh, that, oh, this. But I went and I researched it all because I wanted it all down, documented for my business, because I'm a hairstylist, and if you come to me with hair loss, I should know what's going on. Of course, I'm not always the one to treat it. I'm not a doctor, but I will say after 25 years of dealing with people with hair loss or thinning hair, that 9 times out of 10 the doctor can't fix it either. So, and I have done recommendations for people for products over the last 25 years that have helped them, diet recommendations, things like that. I mean, I feel like that's my job, to kind of help keep you from going to the doctor with your hair, right? So we're going to talk these types of hair loss. And I have to write them down because I got to print. Androgenetic alopecia. So this is the male or female pattern baldness you might see. Sometimes it's very round. It also, so what androgenetic alopecia, what is happening there is your body is creating a hormone called DHT. DHT is getting into your follicle and being created in your follicle and underneath your skin, and it's causing your follicle to shrink up and pushing the hair out, which when the follicle shrinks up and it's tight in there, it doesn't have any room to grow. So you have to have a healthy hair follicle, not using those sulfates and parabens. So I've found that people that suffer from this female and male pattern baldness, that if you focus on using a shampoo with it's a DHT cleanser. It's a certain formula. There's just a few on the professional market that actually do work. But one thing that they did say, that a doctor would prescribe you minoxidil, which I have experience with minoxidil. And any client that has ever gotten minoxidil from their doctor, once they stop using it, all the hair that grew fell out. So it really just, you got to stay on it your whole life if that's what you decide you want to do. And I try to educate my clients on that too. Is like, well, we can try this and you can stop and start it at any time, or you can do this and you kind of have to stay on it forever if you want to keep your hair. The next type of hair loss is pregnancy hair loss, right? So I've known some women that have lost their hair during their pregnancy, and then I know people that have lost their hair once they stop breastfeeding. So what's happening there is a decrease in estrogen. So maybe you go to the doctor and you get a little bit of estrogen, or the health food store, or you eat foods with high estrogen, or, many things to do to at least help from the hair loss happening. Number 3 is alopecia areata. And this is hair loss due to an autoimmune disorder. So this is your scalp, your eyebrows, your eyelashes, and it's falling out in small chunks. Like, it's not just a few hairs that you shedded here. It's not the little tiny ball of hair you pull out of the shower. It's like noticeable chunks of hair. I've actually had this happen in my bowl, and I always tell, in my shampoo bowl, and I tell my clients, this isn't normal shedding. Please go get checked out by a doctor because I think something may be an issue. They always come back. It was thyroid. It was this. It was that. It was nutrient, whatever. So just pay attention to your hair. The next phase, and one of my clients I'm sorry, my dogs are barking. I have 2 babies. Sorry, I have a real good girlfriend that had this number 4. It's telogen effluvium. So this is shedding through the whole cycle. So notice that it says telogen, right? Telogen. So the first word is telogen effluvium. So telogen is the resting stage of your hair. That's 100 days. That happens for 100 days in a row. So this is your hair is shedding for 100 days every day. It's like that's when the panic sets in and the stress, which is not any better, right? That's not better for your hair. So these are things that can cause that. Under or over functioning thyroid, stress, anesthesia or surgery. Anesthesia is a big one. Childbirth or rapid weight loss. And I'm sure there are other medical conditions that can attest to hair loss. I see anesthesia in people's hair all the time. That's part of my consultation, surgeries, background, things like that. I'm not asking to be nosy. I'm asking because I need to know I don't want to put bleach on your hair if you've had chemo or anesthesia or anything like that. All right, so the next one is anagen effluvium. This is not just on your head. This is from chemo, radiation, fungal infection, autoimmune disease. This can last for 2 to 6 years. So this is like I was talking earlier, like the anesthesia, the surgery, anesthesia, chemo, it can live in your hair for 4 to 6 years until you've cutting it all off. Just depends on how much your treatment was, how long you were asleep. Hair loss is real, and there are many, many reasons for it. All right, the next one is traction alopecia. And if you like tight ponies or buns or braids, or you're an extension girl and you've suffered from breakage there, all that is just, like keeping your hair completely slicked back and that pressure and the ponytail, and you'll feel it and you'll experience it too. Like that's why some people are thin around their hairline. Could be why I'm thin around my hairline, because I wear my hair up all the time. It's hot here in Florida. So I just try to be mindful of how tight it is, or mindful what I'm putting my hair up with, because that does matter. The next thing, number 7, is medications. So, any medication, it lives everywhere in all your systems if you're taking it. So these medications for sure can cause hair loss. Blood thinners, Accutane, the acne medications, and sometimes even like the stuff that you rub on your face. If you get it up in your hairline, it can cause you to lose hair around your hairline or that to get thinner. Antidepressants, beta blockers, cholesterol lowering meds. Those are all known hair loss meds. So I just, you got to do what you got to do. If you have to take the med, then let's try to counterbalance with topically trying to treat the hair loss, right? Maybe taking a vitamin or something like that. Brings me to my next type of hair loss, nutrient deficiencies. So that's kind of the first thing I ask people when they start complaining about the health of their hair is like, what are you using on it? And what are you eating? What minerals are you taking? What vitamins are you taking in? Are you getting a lot of protein? So like those diets that are like low protein, low iron, like sometimes vegans have a hard time getting protein. Well, sometimes their hair, it will show up in their hair. I mean, I can attest to that. When I was vegan at one point, I noticed that my hair was just too thin. It wasn't it wasn't desirable. So, and I actually had to get off that vegan diet because it made me sick. I believe it's because I'm O blood type and I'm meant to be a meat eater, a hunter, and a gatherer. I have O positive blood. So, all these things is why I consider myself a hair doctor. Because when I'm dealing with your hair, I'm also thinking about, okay, well, how can we create balance and health and vitality and keeping you looking younger and your hair stylish and healthy? Like the most important thing for your health, for your hair, for your life is to have healthy hair and skin. Doesn't that make you feel good when you look in the mirror? Healthy hair and skin. That's why I am, rebranding my business and becoming quite clear on what it is that I do, because it is special. Not every hairstylist does this, but I do, and I've been doing it for 25 years. So that brings us to the very last type of hair loss, and it can be caused, which it falls under medications too, but I kind of wanted to put it separate because you can ask for certain birth control pills. So birth control pills is the number 9 type of hair loss, and you can experience it when you start taking them, while you're taking them, and when you're getting off of them. I've seen all 3 scenarios many, many times. What I would recommend for you is getting a birth control pill that has a low androgen index. So androgen, that is like DHT is an androgen. It's a hormone. That's why number 1 hair loss is androgenetic alopecia, because it's androgenetic. It's hormonal alopecia. So Desigen, Ortho-Opt, and Orthocycline are the ones that Google recommended for low hormone birth control pills. So, all right, guys, these are your 9 types of hair loss, your 3 hair growth stages. Please message if you have any questions at all. Hope you're having a blessed day.